Hi everybody, this is Lawrence Man, and in a very short while this will become the Wacom Cintiq Pro unveiling for the UK. Okay, let's go inside and see what this is all about in a very short while. I was lucky enough to be invited to the Wacom Cintiq Pro 24 launch event. There I am, look at me, sat at the 32-inch Wacom Cintiq. Look how big it was. It was absolutely huge. There I am talking to the folks from Digital Arts Magazine. There's not that many people there, you know, most of them are journalists. There's about 3 Wacom Cintiq 24s there. They look quite big as well. Not as big as that 32 though. There's only one of those, and yeah, I got a good go on that. I'll show you some more pictures of that later on.
Hi, and welcome to the Wacom Cintiq Pro 24 launch event here in London. I'm going to show you the latest pen display, and we've got a surprise for you because we also have one of the very few early production models of the Wacom Cintiq Pro Engine. We invited a couple of our friends, media partners, creatives, people from different studios based here in London to have a good time, test out the new kit, chat and meet other people, and yeah.
So as Joran said, I felt really honoured to be invited down to this event. You know, most of these people are journalists, other creatives, and it was just a real pleasure to meet, mingle, and to definitely try out these devices before they hit the market, to be able to come back and then tell you everything that we didn't already know. And to be honest, we already know most of these things, but to be able to get a hands-on test and then to be able to come back. Most of what we already know has been facts that have been handed to us, but then on top of that has been speculation. So now I feel like I can give you an honest appraisal of these devices, and to me that's really important. So here you go, this is the 24, and that 4K screen is honestly beautiful. We've seen it on smaller Cintiq Pros, but seeing it at this 24-inch size and the 32, absolutely gorgeous. Let's have a chat with some creatives. Oh, look at that. That's a good angle. So, do you use Wacom at the moment?
Yes.
What have you got?
I've got, I want to say it's the Companion. It's like my first Cintiq. It's about that big.
Mobile Studio?
No, not Mobile Studio, before that.
Oh, the
predecessor.
I have the Mobile Studio Pro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What size?
16?
It's a good one. I've got that as well.
It's a really nice one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're already on 4K?
Yes, I am good. I've been showing him the ropes, which is why he was doing the drawing.
Mobile Studio is different from the Companion. A lot of people have said that it's a lot better. What do you think of the 24 Cintiq Pro?
Amazing. Yeah.
Because I always say to people that size makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, we were talking about like the radial menu. For me, I toggle it on and off for the 16, but I think on this I would have it just there all the time.
Personally, it's something I never really use.
Oh, I have a million keystrokes mapped out on mine.
Something I never personally
Yeah.
But it's horses to cause some people really use it a lot. I tend to use the remote.
I have that and the radial menu for different applications.
Yeah. So would you get? Is this something you?
Ideally.
I take it you're both 2D illustrators.
Yeah. I mean, this is so much fun. I've got the Companion. I love my Companion. It was a massive step up at the time. This is something else. Next level. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's just having the whole work. Oh, it's so nice. I feel like not only do I have like my free shoulder now, but I also have like space to maneuver and see everything. Whereas mine was quite small, but I still love it. Yeah, this is you can see everything, which is really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Weren't those guys great? Already Cintiq users and completely ready to trade up to the Cintiq Pro 24. Right, here is the Parallax test for the Cintiq Pro 32. So this is a complete exclusive, by the way. You may have seen some stuff out there for the Cintiq Pro 24, but this is the 32. So yeah, and we're doing this in the top corner as well, so you can see exactly how it's supposed to be. And this looks great on the 32. And there we go, we'll flip the camera and just look at it from the other side, just so you can get a better angle. That is so close, and we're really down there on the top. Just do it on top of the black. Yeah, that looks absolutely amazing. Tweet me about this, guys. Let me know exactly what you think. Leave your comments below. I'm blown away. That's the closest we've ever seen it. That looks absolutely great. And nice slow lines there as well. You can see it's nice and steady. Even with a nice creative brush like this, this isn't the standard brush, obviously. You're not seeing any real lag on that, any lag at all. Beautiful, beautiful. And this is with the engine as well, by the way. And just for comparison, there is the Cintiq Pro 24. Pretty much the same, but you've seen that before. Okay, so my turn on the Cintiq Pro 32. See how big that is, see how nice that is. I got about 20 minutes on this because obviously there's only one at the launch event. This was the launch event for the 24, and the 32's maybe not coming out for a while. We don't know yet, but yeah, here you go. So I got about 20 minutes on this because a lot of other people wanted to go, but they're not all professionals. Yeah, this particular illustration didn't make me look like a professional either, but there's a lot of people stood around me, journalists especially, so yeah, I maybe didn't come out with anything that made me look entirely professional, but I was talking up the device quite a lot, showing people, talking through what the device actually was, what it could do, so yeah, and just generally having a laugh with people. And I felt kind of under the pressure, and the UI wasn't set up how I was doing. I don't know why I'm talking about this, as if, you know, making excuses. But it was huge. It was great. It was wonderful to work on. I picked the guy directly in front of me and just started drawing him, because he was just the guy directly in front of me, talking to me. I didn't realize at the time he was like a bigwig at Digital Arts magazine. Yeah, maybe not the best person to draw right in front of me. But yeah, that's the guy. Loads of other people had a go, and yeah, everybody loved it. It was great. It was huge. There's the engine going into it. You can see this. It just slots right in. It's so easy to do. That's the 24 right there that it was being put into, but it's the same engine that goes into both, and it just slides in so easily. Everything just lines up. I like the fact that it's one engine for the 32 and for the 24. I wasn't sure about that when I first found out about the engine. I didn't know if you needed a different engine for either one, but yeah, one engine for both. This is Glenn. He's not Wacom, but he helps Wacom out a lot. He's just explaining here that you need 2 power cables, one for the Cintiq itself and one for the engine, because they both need powering separately. Looks beautiful going in the back there. This is right at the beginning of the event when he was setting it all up. I got there super early. I was like one of the first people in the door. I was also like one of the very last people to leave as well. I made sure I stuck around for the whole thing. So here's the ports, 2 USB, 1 card reader. On the other side, 2 USB and headphone jack. We were talking about the Wacom Express Key remote here and how it's the same Express Key remote from the 27QHD. Why change perfection? It works great. I do have some videos on my channel about alternatives that you can use if you really don't want to use the Wacom Express Key remote. But yeah, I love this thing. So I think this is actually the best. I've used this with my Surface Book. I've used this with other devices, and because it just runs off a little USB stick, yeah, it works with any device whatsoever. I've used this with my Surface devices. I've used this with a ton of devices, and it works absolutely great because it just uses a little USB stick. So it's great. Some artists bought their own artwork on SD cards. put that straight into the Cintiq Pro and carried on working, which was absolutely great to see. It means you can just hop from Cintiq Pro to Cintiq Pro and carry on working. That is absolutely great to see. Now, we got handed documents as part of our kind of press pack. Brilliant to see. You can pause this, kind of maybe zoom in if you're watching that on a telly, then brilliant. That's the engine there. You can see the specs of the two different engines. Absolutely great.
The higher end machine is a solid machine. I haven't tested the i5 personally, I've only sketched on the higher one. And you can't really test anything with Photoshop, because I mean, how hard can you push a machine with Photoshop if you've got a scratch disc on it? What we did do is that Dragon is 35,000 pixels wide at 600 dpi at 15 layers. So it takes about 6 minutes to open it on our workstations. And it's got all of those layers are all, well, basically we rendered it in a day, in Keyshot one frame. It took a day. So those layers that come out of it are insane layers of scales and all sorts. And we were opening it last week, playing with it, and people were drawing on it and messing around and putting willies on its head and everything. But it copes. From, again, quite limited experience yet. I think you talk to people like Lawrence, who are, people who heavily use Photoshop, or using large layout documents. So we worked on this, and this is where I found Cintiqs really came into their own. So this was not this year's Christmas art, well, this was 2016, so we did 8 months of sculpting and modelling on this. And we moved a fleet of about 5 Cintiqs into a studio in Manchester. We did it for a company called Passion Pictures down there that some of you will know. And they did all the donkey work, but we worked with McKinnon and Saunders, who were actually mostly just their puppet makers. They did films like Corpse Bride and Frankenweenie, but they had no capability to do face replacement technology, so we designed a lot of that with passion. Well then, again, all of my guys switched to Cintiqs, so literally every Cintiq we had went over to Manchester. I wouldn't say it makes them better artists, I definitely wouldn't say that, and you will probably all agree with me. If you're not a good artist now, Cintiq's not going to make you a better artist. Probably Lawrence would agree more than anyone. If you haven't got that skill that you've learned already, this isn't going to improve. Isn't going to make you good at doing anatomy.
Makes you a faster artist.
Yeah, exactly. So what I found with my younger artists is, with training ZBrush, what I found with the ones that switch to the Cintiqs is, I can train some of them at 16, 17. When they go to uni, they're kind of the best because they've sat on a Cintiq for a year and they've just nailed it. Well, even the older Cintiqs, I found that they're better. They just seem to be better. Now, whether it's because they're working bigger, it's because they're working. The difference is with the little Intuos and these. Obviously, you're working on an Intuos or the smaller products. Your hands here and your screen's here. And those of you that are nodding will know what I mean. There's a massive difference between that and working on a Cintiq. So it's some people say it's like having a bath with socks on. It's okay, but it's just a little bit strange. But literally every one of them says after about a week, they switch.
The stand that is going to be released in a couple of weeks is going to be not the usual just back and forth, up and horizontal, but you can actually turn it again. Those of you who remember the stand of the previous generation, 24 and 22 inch, they will remember that you can actually turn the canvas and rotate it.
One thing I do want to cover is VESA mounting options for the 32 and 24. We were all amazingly disappointed by the fact that VESA mounting had been moved. Now, obviously, I think this is the fact that the engine is now here, so that's in the way and we can't do it. Those legs, though, on the 32 are longer, which is better. I think we're going to have to work around this. Will there be an adapter? We just don't know.
Is there any word on the release date for the 32?
No.
No.
No, not yet. We're working hard on it. I think it's going to be summer, but don't take my word for it.
Okay, had to ask.
So you want one?
Yeah.
Sort of understand.
You knew that already.
I hope you guys liked the event and got a nice first impression of the new kit. If you want to learn more, go to our social media channels and check out there for more information.
Well, thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and even subscribe to my channel, Lawrence Can Draw. And if you really did like what you saw here, you can see more of it on my website, lawrenceman.co.uk. I'll see you next time.
Cheers to you guys. Thanks ever so much for helping us out, Jim.
And cheers for dinner.
Cheers. Is that videoing?
Yes, that's videoing.
Always keep smiling.
I
was working on my face.
No, it's good. Right, it's good.